Oh, we got to get this together. This setup is not what's happening. I had some wax here. And this is my second time going live on YouTube. I am excited. I was hoping you guys could see. Give me 1 second. Because I was hoping y'all can see my little setup over here that I got. Like I have a whole little spiel right here. I wanted y'all to see. Let's see. I should have did a test run first. Huh? Give me 1 second. Like I said, this is totally impromptu, so it's not planned. I just decided to do a totally random live today, y'all. So I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Let's see how this works. Okay, because I wanted y'all to see some of the setup. So I got a wax warmer, I got some supplies, I got some wax. Of course, we're using Abolish. Let's see if I can pop this up right here. This may stay like that. And I got very small space to work with. Hey, look, I'm nearsighted, so I can barely see the screen for the comments. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to be as engaging as possible. All right, so here we go. All right, hey, if you're just coming on, hello. I'm Reese, right? I'm the face behind the hands for the videos that you guys see on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and sometimes Facebook. I'm rarely there. So this wax warmer is totally empty. I'm going to show you everything from start to end. So I'm going to talk to you about Hirsutism while the wax actually melts. So we're going to be using the Abolish wax for this session today. Hey, is that Natasha? Abolish. Nice to meet you. Look, I'm gonna be y'all. I can't see that good, so the camera's kind of far away. So I'm gonna be leading up to read some of the comments. So this is Abolish Wax. It is a brand that I created as a licensed esthetician. I didn't think I would go into wax production and retailing, but on this wax journey, on this Hirsutism journey, because I have Hirsutism myself, and I decided to talk about it one day, and I literally thought I was the only person on the face of the earth who had facial hair. And the moment I talked about it, it sparked the conversation worldwide, actually. And so come to find out, a lot of us deal with it. And there was no comparable wax on the market that's able to handle that type of hair. So I made it my mission to find and create a wax that does. So this wax is actually pretty good. It's great, actually, if I do say so myself. So again, this wax warmer is totally empty. There's nothing in here. So we're going to melt it down from start to finish, because I have, done some sales. Some people have tried it. Some people are new to waxing and they've never done it before, but because they have facial hair, they don't want to go out in public, which is why I did this, because it's, I'm not trying to take away from estheticians and waxers, but I know as a person who has Hirsutism, and some people's level of facial hair growth is way more intense than others, so they don't want to go out in public. So I was very empathetic to that. But they don't want to go out in public, and at the same time, they don't have experience waxing. So I was going to make a video and kind of demonstrate, but I was like, you know what, it's going to be easier on me to do it live, and plus I get to be engaging with everyone. So this is the sample size right here. So it's about 6.5 ounces. Hey, should I wait for some more to come on? No, well, you know what, never mind. It's going to be on the replay. I just want to jump right in. So this is the 6.5 ounce. It is only $10. I have the 1 pound bag. It's 16 ounces. And I have a 2 pound. I did a little soft sale of the 2 pound bag, but really that's for professionals, that much. So we did it for Memorial Day, but I closed it back off. So in order to get, of course, people have found workarounds. They've ordered 2 1-pound bags. I say people are so smart. They're going to find a way to break the system. But if you need 2 pounds or more, it's best to have a license because it's a lot. So again, I wanted to do this video to show how to wax, because some people are buying the wax and they don't know how to use it, and they're like, your wax don't work. And I got an email this week and was saying that wax had failed them, and that it didn't do what it was needed to be done. And I was like, well, we're gonna talk about it. So it's not a magic wax. You still have to have knowledge of how to work the wax. You have to have knowledge of how to use it. As you can see, it's already starting to melt. It's already starting to melt. So we're gonna, while this is melting, because I wanted to do this from start to finish. While it is melting, we're gonna talk about hirsutism. And this is the part where I need you guys to be engaging with me, to ask questions. So we'll come back to this. And I have it set on, so this warmer here is by Nova Wax. Again, thank you, Nova Wax, for the warmer. They have theirs at a Celsius point, so it's at 85 right now. This is my first time using this wax warmer, so I'm not sure of its functionality yet. But one thing that I do love about it is that it is temperature controlled, so I can be in control of what the temperature is going to be. So we'll discuss that as well. But this warmer is by Nova Wax. I want you guys to kind of see the front of it, but my plug is a little short. As you can see, that knob there, it controls the temperature. So when you are doing at-home waxing, you don't want to purchase a warmer that has a 1 setting on it, because you will not be in control of the consistency and the temperature of that wax. You want to make sure it has a dial on it for temperature control. Okay, so we're going to get started as far as our discussion of hirsutism. Anybody know what hirsutism is? I don't see any comments. Maybe I pressed something on here. If you're watching, can you just like say hello, or some put an emoji, a heart or something, just so I know someone's here with me. Let me see. Give me 1 second, because I don't know if I did anything. There we go. Okay, I see something. Okay, Bettina. Hey, Bettina. Hey. Okay, so there we go. All right. Okay. Hi. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I thought I was out here alone by myself. Hey, from Philly. Hey, Philly. Hey, Chanel. Hey, Nika. Hey, Latasha. Talia. Hey, girls. Hey. How y'all doing today? I don't go live, by the way. This is totally out of character. But, hey. We are growing. We are all about growing this year. Okay, so anyone know what hirsutism is? Anyone know what it is? Can help enlighten the group? Who is that? Hey, Indian girl. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, Talia say hirsutism is basically excessive hair growth caused by a hormone balance. What's up, girl? I'm going to have to send you something for free. Like a little sample or something. Send me your address. You can DM it to me on Instagram. Actually, Talia had it correctly. So it is basically excessive hair growth in women caused by a hormonal imbalance. It is due to a overactive adrenal gland. So it's something dealing with the endocrine system. It could be something also dealing with the ovaries. Or it could be something that's central related. And further, it could be something that is not caused by any type of bodily disruption, but it can just be familial, which means it runs in your family. Yes, okay, so Miss Banks, did I say that right? She said she was diagnosed with PCOS. Most cases, that is the kind of fall to, but honestly, you only need 3 characteristics to be diagnosed with PCOS. I'm not a doctor, so we're not gonna go down the medical road, but most ladies who have hirsutism or some type of excessive facial body hair growth, they do have PCOS. Most times, and that PCOS, for those who don't know, is polycystic ovarian syndrome. They have benign cysts on their ovaries, and so that may throw off the adrenal glands and make them produce too much androgen, aka testosterone, which is the male hormone, and that's why they start taking on male characteristics only, like the facial hair. And so I'm going to use my arms for demo today because that's the only place that I can wax and stay in view of the camera. But I have hair growth on my arms, my legs, my sideburns. You know, these are areas as a woman you don't generally grow hair. Well, you know, it shouldn't be obvious. We all have hair from head to toe, which is called vellus hair, aka peach fuzz. So we all are covered in hair from head to toe. But some hair is supposed to stay, you know, it shouldn't be noticeable. It should be thin, it should be vellus. That's the scientific term. Vellus hair is very fine, thin peach fuzz. And terminal hair is hair like what's on my head. It's adult hair, it's thick, it's coarse, it's dark, it's dense. That is terminal hair. And some of us, we're getting terminal hair here. We're getting terminal hair here. We're getting terminal hair in the chest. We're getting terminal hair on our lips. And so that is due to some sort of disruption, or it's just passed down to you via the bloodline. So I have seen comments from followers that say that they tested negative for PCOS. They tested negative. Their levels were normal, but they still hairy. Like, what's up with that? And so I say your grandma gave it to you, or your auntie, or somebody, you know, somebody gave it to you. And so you just have to learn to navigate through that. So that is what Hirsutism is. I got some notes here trying to stay on track. I am a wax account, which means I'm going to promote waxing the most because that is what I am most knowledgeable in. I get a lot of comments about laser hair removal and electrolysis. Now, laser hair removal is a semi-permanent hair removal method and option, which means if you get laser hair removal, it's going to kill off those hair follicles and they're going to stay at bay for about 6 months or so, and then you have to do several treatments to those hair follicles to keep continuing to kill them off. So it's semi-permanent because the hair will grow back, but it won't be as intense as not having had laser. And so electrolysis is a permanent hair removal option, which means it's said to have to kill the hair follicles indefinitely, and so you will cease to have hair growth. Again, it takes several treatments to kill off the hair follicles. And so we get a lot of comments that say get laser, get electrolysis, and I'm just like, if we all could afford it, if we all could afford laser and electrolysis, we will all be good. But not everybody is in the same financial bracket or financial circumstance or able to just pour out the hundreds of dollars that it takes to do those semi-permanent and permanent hair removal options. And I know you may say, well, if you get wax for every month for 6 months, or if you get wax every month for this amount of years, it's going to total up to that. That is true. It's going to total up to that amount, but that means you would have to not wax for all that time to save up that money to be able to go get those services and treatments. And no woman who knows they're a woman with facial hair is going to sit around and let it grow out. Unless you're one of those who have come to embrace the hair and you just living in your truth and you don't care what nobody got to say about it. I follow a couple of accounts like that where women, they let it be. They are heterosexual women. They are embracing a fullness however they come, and they just don't shave it, don't wax it, don't squeeze it, don't do nothing, and they just literally just letting it grow out. So unless you're not one of those type of women with that type of philosophy, you are not going to allow your hair to just grow out while you stack up your bread to get laser or electrolysis. So what do you do in the meantime? This is where waxing comes in at. This is where chemical depilatories like Nair and Veet, that's where that comes in at. That's where shaving comes in at. Some people thread. So you have sugaring, that's another one. So you have those semi-permanent I'm sorry, those temporary hair removal options, which is chemical depilatories and manual physical hair removal options. And so some people, they just have to stay in their lane. It's all they can afford right now. So yes, laser will do it. Laser will fix it. And then another thing too, I have several clients who have done laser and electrolysis, and they still come get the waxing because they say, I did 6 treatments, I did 12 treatments, I did this amount of treatments, and it still come back. And that's where it comes into play with your hormones. So if you have hormones and you're trying to get it done, you literally just throwing money down the drain, because your hormones, unless you get those in check, you're gonna still get the hair production. I wish the comments weren't fading away. I see them coming in, y'all, but they kind of not staying up for some reason. So I can't. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna read what Talia says. So she says, women of color, we face another challenge, and that's finding a dermatologist who's trained in performing laser hair removal on darker skin colors. She say it's not. I'm sorry, it's fading away. I needed another little tablet. Look, y'all, if I enter the world of live recording, I'm gonna get my equipment together. She says not as easy as people think. And that is so true. One, you have to find someone, like she said, who is knowledgeable in laser and electrolysis. And they have to be knowledgeable with skin of color. And they have to be knowledgeable with our hair texture. Because I've done Creole, which is a mixed race. And their hair is more finer, more thinner. And then, of course, I've done the curliest, kinkiest, coiliest type of hair. And they don't perform the same when it comes to this wax removal. I was checking to see how far it melted down. So it's getting there. And so it doesn't even remove the same with waxing. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to perform the same when it comes to those permanent hair removal options. And now listen, I'm totally for laser and electrolysis. I actually want to go back to school to learn electrolysis. I want to become an electrologist, because I want to be able to offer it at an affordable rate, because it can get pricey. So I want to learn it and be able to offer it. And so to help those, because especially with the pandemic and things that had happened over the last course of the last few years, people hadn't been in a financial situation to take care of this. It's something that they couldn't put as a priority. So I mean, it's in my heart to be able to offer it to people and give them a permanent hair removal option at a rate that they can afford. Not to water down the market or nothing like that. Like, I hate to come across as like I'm a rebel to the industry, but I really want to help people. And nobody's standing up in the place to be able to say, hey, we'll help you. So that's why I created the Wax brand. We're not supposed to do this. We're not supposed to give y'all our trade secrets and stuff. But, I just felt like I wanted to help. And so I haven't gotten any backlash so far, but who knows what they say in the private groups. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So yeah, laser and electrolysis, if you could afford it, by all means, get it done. We might add a little bit more in here. So I'm gonna stir this up a little bit. And so well, let me go into chemical depilatories. So the way I feel about chemical depilatories is this. When you know better, you do better. They got the magic powder. That stuff is trending all over TikTok. And you got Veet, you got Nair. I don't know any other brands that are out there like off the top of my head right now. But this is my concept with chemical depilatories. If it's strong enough to break down the keratin in a hair strand, and keratin is as strong as nails, if it's made to break that stuff down, that keratin down in the hair follicle to absorb it, what is it doing to the skin at a cellular level? That's my thought with chemical depilatories. I know people say it's better than shaving. I won't say I'm against shaving, but shaving, especially when you are a person of color, and especially when you have kinky type of hair, and when you have a hormonal imbalance, I'm against it under those circumstances. But because I shave my legs sometimes, when I'm in a rush, I got somewhere to go. So I'm not totally against shaving. I just don't think everyone, when it comes to the face, I don't think everyone is a candidate for shaving. But the chemical depilators, I just think it's like, you know, what we learn about relaxers and stuff. You know we do relaxers. We still will relax our hair as women of color. We'll relax our hair, but we know what it does. We know the damages it can do if like left on too long or done too frequently. And so it's the same thing with the chemical depilators. Probably some of the same ingredients, if you ask me. But that's my take on chemical depilatories for hair removal. It's just, you have to, if you're going to do it, if you're going to use those, then also implement skincare. Which skincare should be implemented in no matter what form of hair removal option you take. Skincare and this hair removal goes hand in hand. It's one and the same. Like, you can't really do one without the other. And I get a lot of clients that will come in faithfully and they will get their hair removal service, and I give them instructions on how to follow home care, and they'll do like the bare minimum maybe that first week or so, and then they just revert back to routine. And so that's kind of why when you see some of those videos, you don't really see a lot of progression, because they're not ready. They're not really ready to stay committed to it. They just, some women are only focusing on the hair. They don't care if they got dark marks or pigmentation. Like it really doesn't bother them. They just hate when they touch their skin that it's not baby smooth like it should be. And so that will be their only focus at that point. So I got this at 80. I got like 87 degrees right now. This is the consistency of it. It's actually still melting, but if I had a client and I had to get started, I will work with this consistency. It's running a little fast, which means it's a little bit hot, but I got some areas in here that are perfect. So let's see. So if you're going to be using a polish, you don't want it to be super thick and you don't want it to be super runny. So I'm going to turn it down now from 87 to 75. And also, it also depends on whatever warmer you're getting. I'll have warmers available soon, but in the meantime, if you need a warmer today, I think Nova Wax may sell them to consumers. I'm not 100% sure, but if you go on Amazon, Tress Wellness, they have a temperature control wax warmer. And I have 2 of them at home, and they are pretty good. I like them. I did not like Tress Wellness wax, but I like their wax warmers. Okay, so I turned it down, and then I just kind of blended the thicker parts with the thinner parts that's inside my warmer, because there was some chunkier parts and some thinner parts. So this is, watch when I lift this up, you'll see the consistency. So this is perfect. This is a perfect consistency. It's thick enough to sit and be spooned on my wax stick, but it also has a nice little drip and run to it. It's a slow little steady run. It's a steady run. So this is kind of the consistency that you wanted when you're doing your facial wax. Now I'm going to do demonstration on my arm. Hopefully we'll do this on some left-handed. I'll move this out the way. I'm gonna go over, it's mainly for technique purposes, but my heart goes out to the lady who had the thick hair. She said she used the wax and it got a significant amount of hair off. She used the wax, it got a significant amount of hair, but it didn't get all the hair. So that is because that was her first time ever doing the wax. She had never self-waxed before. I figured one was going to tear, that's why I brought an extra. She had never self-waxed before, so she purchased this wax for the first time. She had never self-waxed before, and so she let it grow out for 2 weeks. I think she was shaving prior to, and so she stopped shaving for 2 weeks because she knew she was going to purchase the wax. She purchased the wax and she tried to use it, and to her it wasn't successful. Well, that's because if that happens with the hirsutism facial hairs particularly, those hairs probably had never, well, if it's your first time, they had never been removed from the follicle before. Y'all, don't laugh at me if y'all, don't laugh if you laugh, and stop laughing. I get my gloves extra small Because like when I'm doing facials, I want it to feel like my skin. Like I don't want the client to know I have on gloves. So that's why I get them a little small. So I'm always struggling to pull them on because I want it to be next to skin. So sorry about that. So if you have never waxed before, this applies to any area: chin, Brazilian, legs, arms. That means if you have hair growing out of that area and you've never waxed before, that hair has never been removed from the follicle, which means it's attached in the follicle, it's attached to roots, it's getting blood supply, and times that by however old you are. So for instance, your hair started growing at 14, you just shaved it for 15 years, now you're 30, and you want to wax all of a sudden. Well, that was 14 years, 15 years that the hair had been in the root, never been removed, and now today you want to decide to do something different and pull it from the root. It is not going to come up easy. It's going to be a struggle, it's going to be a tussle, and it's going to hurt. That's why if you can, see a professional waxer for your first wax. If you feel like you want to do it at home yourself for whatever reason, cost effective, for privacy, if you can get someone to do the wax for your initial wax for you the first time, I would have somebody do that because it takes a lot of force, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of strength and knowledge. And so once you get past that first wax session, you remove those hairs from the follicle fully, then the hair growth cycle starts again, and it starts from being a terminal hair to an infant hair, and then it will be easier for you to do it the second time. If you are still not comfortable and you want to do your first ever chin, beard, hirsutism, however you want to relate it, you want to do that wax for the first time on your own, you're just not comfortable going out, you're not comfortable letting it grow out in public, I already spoke with one of my clients today. She's going to come and she and I are going to do a tutorial video. I'm going to coach her through it and let her wax herself using a polish. So it's one thing to watch me do it in the videos and it seems easy enough. But then when you go and do it yourself, you're not going to get the same results because I'm literally doing it to someone. Even when I wax myself at home, it's a different method and different process. So she's going to come back at her next visit. I say give about 2 weeks or so. And if I find someone before then, of course, if they're willing, I'll put it up before. But I'm going to try to help. I'm trying to help as best as I can. Okay, so again, this is the gray consistency right there. That's perfect. And it's such a pretty color. It looks like honey. Okay, so of course, you know you need a couple items to get started. You need your gauze. Now, I'm going to be honest, y'all. At home, I be using whatever. Tissue, paper towel. I'm more professional at work. So you got your gauze. And then when I have my kit, it's going to have all of this in it. It's going to have the gauze in it. It's going to have the gloves. It's going to have the wax sticks. It's going to have 3 products, something similar to this. So when you're waxing, you want to first cleanse your area. And what this does is remove dirt. It removes oils that the skin may be holding. And it just kind of makes sure the area is clean for waxing. So when you apply the wax. So cleanse, then you want to dry. Dry the area. Make sure it is dry. So if it still has that damp feeling, just give it a second. And I didn't have a trash bag. Give it a second and let it dry. Okay, so in some videos, this is first of all, every esthetician's waxer's method is different. You'll see some people in videos, let me move it out the way so y'all can see. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so you will see some waxers sprinkle powder, right? And I don't do that. You've never seen a video with me sprinkling powder. But what the powder does, or what they say it does, one, I believe that it does absorb moisture. I don't think it wakes hairs up. I see people come in, it's just waking the hairs. No, it's not. It's not waking no hairs up. That is so funny to me. If they're going to be woke, they're going to be woke. If they sleep, they sleep. The powder is doing nothing but just kind of, now it does create a barrier. It creates a barrier between the skin and the wax. It does do that. and it does absorb moisture, but it's not prepping no hair and getting no hair ready to come out. That is a myth in my opinion. Um, I like, and I was just trained, and I'm a creature of habit, to have the skin dry. And ultimately, think about this. I'm not exfoliating my arms as often as I should, right? You take your bath, you shower every day and night. That's about as much exfoliation as we generally do. But there are some people who are really, really in tune with their skincare regimen and their whole self care, not just face, not just physique, but their whole area. They will be exfoliating regularly, right? So they always constantly working that dead skin down because our skin cells in general turn over every 28 days. So they're constantly exfoliating and taking care of their skin. I'm honest. I'm not doing it often as I should. But my main areas I do. But my arms and legs, I'm not exfoliating as I should. So considering that you don't exfoliate your arms and stuff every 2 to 3 days or every week or so, now my skin is full of dead skin buildup. So I want to remove that excess skin. I want to get that good exfoliation. That's why they say wax exfoliates because it's going to take off that old layer. And that's why sometimes when you wax, you'll see a little clear indication line from where the wax was removed to where the skin has been untouched. And it'll be significantly lighter. That is because the wax had removed those several layers of dead skin that should have been getting exfoliated. So that is why for most people, I don't put powder because I don't want that barrier between their old skin and the hair. Now I have some clients who have really, really soft, exfoliated skin. They don't have a lot of dead buildup. What I like to use for my barrier is a little oil. And you literally only need a pin drop of oil, massage it into the skin. That will create a barrier so that their skin won't lift. So I've already cleansed and dried. And another thing that I do also, I'm gonna use this stick as a whole, but I just was trained in school to break my sticks up. And even though I'm a business owner and I pay for everything, I feel funny using an entire stick. So I break up my sticks and you'll see me use them after I use this one, you'll see me use half sticks. Plus, my school probably was being cheap and saving on products, but I got stuck with having a handle of it at the end instead of having this long. I don't know, it's something mental, but do what you will. If you want to use a whole stick, go ahead. But I got more control in my pressure and application with using a half stick. That might make the difference, by the way. Okay, so again, I'm using my arm as the area that I'm waxing, but I want you to take into consideration if you're self-waxing. If you're doing your own chin, is what I mean to say. So if you're doing your own chin or any area, the first thing you want to do, after, even before you cleanse and dry the area, you want to feel the way the hair is growing. So on my arm, it's pretty evident the hair is growing from here and it's growing across. But sometimes when you're doing your chin wax, you can't tell which way the hair is growing. Most likely, it's going to all be looking uniform and going in one direction. For most people, it's going to start here and work down to the neck like that. But for some people, the hair is growing what I like to call a crosshatch, which means you got some growing that way and you got some growing that way. So what happens if you got hair growing this way and you got hair growing that way in one section? You feel your skin and you try to feel for the hair that is going, the most hair is going in one direction. So if the most hair is growing that way, it's going to feel real smooth. It's going to lay down with your hands. As your hands brush against your chin or whatever area you're waxing, the hair is going to lay down and it's going to feel real smooth, kind of like you just, it's going to feel real smooth. I don't have any other illustration examples. But if you take your hand and then you go in the opposite direction against that, it's going to start to prick up and bump against your hands. And that's how you know it's not growing in that way because your hand is going against the growth. So when you smooth and going with the growth, the hands are going to lay down. It's going to flow real freely. And if you're going against the hair growth, the hair is going to prick up and pop up against your fingers. And that's how you can tell. So first thing you want to do after cleansing and drying in the area and prepping however you feel comfortable prepping, you want to determine the direction of the hair growth. Even with hard wax, I've seen people say that with hard wax you can just do it any old way. I don't agree with that. I stand by what I say, and I say what I mean. Go with the hair growth, remove it against the hair growth. There are certain circumstances which I will bring up later in which you do go against the hair growth. So again, if the hair is growing in a crosshatch direction, which means it literally looks like this on the skin, you go with the main growth first and pull against, and then you go opposite and pull, because you're literally going with the direction of each growth of each side at the same time. So if the hair is growing up like this, I hope I'm making sense, y'all. Please tell me I'm making sense. If the hair is growing in a crosshatch, you're going with the wax and applying it in that direction, but it's going against this direction on that side. So it's only going to really get the hair effectively when the wax is applied in that way and removed. So then you have to go against the other side and pull it from that side and remove. So ultimately you're getting the wax from both angles. I hope that made sense. Okay, so I have cleaned and dried the area. And so once you have determined, now you want to apply your wax. So this is several ways you can apply it. First, you can just take the wax and make a pool right on the area that you're going to apply it in. Make a pool of wax, and then you take your stick, stand it upright, not flat, but upright like this, not like that. So just like that, and then you drag it. Just like that, and then you can do a curve and come back. I kind of let it sit a little long for demonstration purposes, but so you can do a pool of the wax and then drag it and come around. I'm going to show you how to do it a different way. So this is application only. Then you want to remove. Okay, so yeah, it actually did get hair, by the way. Okay, the second way you can apply it is you get your wax and then you just go right in. So no pool needed. You just go right in and apply. Okay, we'll be using the other arm because you can only wax in one area up to about no more than 3 times. So it's only so much I can do on this particular side of my arm. So then once it's set, you do your lift. You can lift like that with the tab and pull. I take my stick and do it. Some people are for it, some people are against it, but either way. So you want to remove and then apply pressure, especially if you're doing it for someone else. But if you're doing it for yourself, definitely apply pressure, and that's going to help calm those pain sensors. And yeah, so it did actually remove hair, as it should, because it's a good wax. So we're going to sit that right here. Okay, and so when you are doing your hirsutism area, now I'm just going to just demonstrate this without wax. You want to apply a firm pressure and press into the hairs. You don't want to just gloss it over like you're painting your nails. You want to press down into the skin and really coat the wax with the hairs. So you really kind of just like, you're not painting it on, you pressing it in. And that's going to help the hair marry into the wax. So I'm going to show you on this side. Now, my hair here, see this section I was able to go up and down, but for some reason my hair grows across like this. So I have to apply it in that way. So you get your wax, scrape off the excess, and give it a good little twirl to catch any drips. I'm a pull. So you pull it, you bring it down. And so I take any excess. You may notice in my video, I take excess, and it's kind of like giving it a second coat, by the way. And then you just kind of turn it. And some people ask me, how do you know when the wax is set? When you stick your finger in it, and it's not, your glove, your hand, or whatever is not getting stuck, that's how you know it's set. To know when it's not ready, you'll have some applied, like so. As soon as you put your finger in it, your gloves are sticky. This is not set, it's not ready. This over here is ready. I should be able to touch it and my fingers don't get stuck. Pull, add pressure. So that is how you can tell if your wax is set. Your fingers should not get stuck in it. Anybody have any questions? I think I'm pretty much about to wrap this up. What else could I say about the chin waxing? Take your time. So, especially if you have a lot of hair from all over, don't try to do big, large, giant sessions, especially if it's your first time. Do small sections and take your time because it's going to be painful. It is going to be painful for those very reasons that I stated earlier. You have never had hair removed from this area before. So you literally pulling these hairs from blood vessels. Blood vessels are wrapped around that bulb. And so you're trying to remove it from those vessels that have been attached its entire lifespan. So definitely take your time and do small sessions. But if you can, get someone to do your wax for you for that initial wax. And then you should be able to manage on your own. This is the perfect consistency. If you purchase the polish and you're wondering what consistency to have your wax set at, this is perfect. You see that steady flow? It's not too warm. It's not too hot actually. It's not hot at all. And also do a test patch. If you purchase it, do a test patch just to make sure you're good. But this is perfect. This is perfect. I guess that's it for today. I guess they don't have any other questions. If you don't have any other questions, I don't have anything else. I think we discussed chemical depilatory, we discussed laser, so that's permanent hair removal, semi-permanent, and temporary hair removal. We discussed a little technique. So I guess I'll just save this moment for Q&A. If anybody have any questions or anybody have anything they want to add, you can do so now. So oil helps remove wax too, by the way. So if you got wax all over your warmer and you want to clean it up, just put a little oil on a gauze or paper towel, and that'll help clean it off and make it nice and shiny and new again. There we go. Oh, and also I forgot too. Even if you're waxing yourself and you're waxing at home, still wear gloves. I know sometimes you see me not doing it, like I'm at home with my daughter. I didn't have gloves on for one of those videos because we decided to wax her and I didn't have any. So we just did it. But that's not something that I would make a common practice. So even if you're waxing yourself, put gloves on because, you know, there are things in your environment that you can't see and your skin is fresh. And you, like I said earlier, you remove those dead skin cells. And so now you have that real vulnerable skin. And so you want your hands to be protected when touching that vulnerable skin. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I did leave some steps out. So when you done, right, you want to, there's always an unseen residue. So I always give my clients a little oil, and this is grapeseed oil, and that helps remove that sticky residue, and it gives the skin a very nice shine. And now I'm sleek, baby, smooth right here. I gotta do the rest. Let me do right here too. I'll do the rest later. Now I got 2 patches of missing hair right here. I gotta do the rest. I'll do it this weekend. So a little oil and a little aloe soothing gel. I'm so used to it. I really don't use this stuff as much because I'm so used to waxing. But the aloe gel is to help like calm the redness, and it feels real good on clients. It just feels like even now it feels super soothing and cool. So it just kind of helps calm the skin. And also, I'm pretty sure it tells the skin it's okay. You don't have to have a histamine reaction because I'm cooling you down. So if you notice when you shave, and that's another thing, if you notice when you wax, and you get little bumps afterwards, I see that also in the comments, like I wax and my skin broke out in little bumps. That could be for several reasons. One could be that the body is responding to the trauma, because for the body, it does not know what is happening. It just knows something's being yanked out of my body. It's snatching apart from my blood vessels and it's sending trauma. So the brain's going to think something traumatic happened. It's going to release histamine, and it may be a lot of breakouts and things like that, or wherever you wax it, it's going to be a lot of white bumps, little breakouts. That is called a histamine reaction. It may be coupled with redness, it may be coupled with irritation, but it's just your body responding to the trauma. So what you do in that instance is take an antihistamine, and that'll help calm that down. And so it usually happens for people for the first wax session, then the body gets accustomed to it, and so you don't have that reaction anymore. I actually had a client, she's a fairly new client. She came in for her first ever wax session, like her first time ever waxing. She got full body done. I'm talking legs, Brazilian, the butt. She got everything done, face, underarm. And I was like, you sure you want to do this at one time? Are you sure? She was like, yeah, I just want to get it over with. So I was like, okay. And I told her, I said, you may not feel well after this. And so she said she was down for a day. She was, I didn't even think, I knew she would have a reaction, but I didn't think she would like couldn't, she said she was in the bed that day. She said I was in the bed for 24 hours. She said, I knew you told me I wasn't going to feel good. And she was like, I really didn't feel good. And she said, but after 24 hours, I feel better. And so now she comes and she gets the same services and she has no problem whatsoever. So just understand that your body is going to have to get adjusted to what you're doing to it, because it's going to think that it's being hurt. So definitely histamine, antihistamine. Another thing can be, it may not be histamine reaction. It may be because, particularly it does happen to women who have newly waxed face. They will, having had hirsutism, when you're touching your skin, you always feel that rough, prickly, manly feeling. And so after a fresh wax, your skin is feeling super baby smooth, and you like, I'm that girl today. I haven't felt this woman. I haven't been her in so long. And it's like, you can't stop touching. You like, oh my God, this feels so good. And you just been to touch this. I'm doing it now. I can touch all kinds of stuff, and I just come touch my face. And you do it subconsciously without even knowing. And so now whatever was in your environment is on your freshly waxed skin. Whatever you was touching, and you touched something else, and then you touched your face, or you was doing like this, or you was chilling, or or you were just enjoying your wax session. Now you have invited things from the environment into your skin, and it may result in a couple white bumps. It may result in some bumps. It may result in some irritation. And then all you can do with that, I would suggest is just let time heal it. Just kind of make sure you cleanse the area really good with a good facial cleanser and moisturize and protect the skin. So that is the end. Unless anyone have any questions, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to leave this video up because, again, I'm mostly active at the nighttime between 6 and 10. And that's when y'all see me online. But today I wanted to do something impromptu. I just wanted to kind of vibe with everybody and just talk a little bit about hirsutism. I didn't talk much about abolish. I think I opened up talking about abolish. So if you want to try this amazing wax, it is amazing, not because I created it and I founded it, but it's amazing because it's comparable to what professionals use. It is highly comparable, and you are not going to find this type of wax on Amazon. You are not going to find that formulation. They make something that's good enough to where you got to come back because it ain't work. You got to come back and try another brand, and come back and try, maybe this brand may be better. You got all these different wax colors on your counter and all these different brands because you didn't swam through so many different brands trying to find something that works. This can be a staple in your life. So it really works. It really gets down to the tough hairs. I'll do another live because I'm coming up with some more stuff that I can talk about, but this is prolonged long enough. So I'll do another one. If you like this video, if you like this type of interaction, be sure to comment below. Once I log off, I'll pop in and read and see if it was a crowd favorite, or if you want to go back to just seeing my hands only doing chin waxes and other waxes. Just let me know. But thank you so much for tuning in. If you watch from beginning to end, thank you. To the lady, Talani, if you're still on here, text me, DM me your address. I'm going to send you a free sample of Abolish, and I'm going to send you a sample of glycolic pads. I love rewarding participation. I might need to go to school, y'all, because I'm like a teacher. I be rewarding participation and rewarding engagement. So text me, Talani, if you are still on here. Text me your address. I'm going to send you a sample size of the Abolish Wax. I'm going to send you a sample size of the glycolic and retinol pads. So thank you so much, you guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you. Now, look, I don't know how to close out of here, so give me a minute. Thank you guys so much. Bye-bye.